Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and it's actually pretty funny. Yesterday I was watching this stream on this channel called Inside the Booth, right? Which I shall link the stream in the pinned comments down below so you guys can see the stream. And they were talking about Monsters Inc., right? And one of the points that one of the two people that was on the stream brought up was the Abominable Snowman, and how hard the snow was to make in Monsters Inc. back then, because the Monsters Inc. came out in 2001. In this episode, the reason why I'm bringing that part up is that in this episode, the name is called Adorable Returns. Because if you guys seen the Monsters Inc. movie, then you guys would have seen, then you would have known the Abominable Snowman called himself the Adorable Snowman. And the description of this episode on Disney Plus says, Taylor mistakenly allows the banished Adorable Snowman to return to Monsters Inc. So, the premise, what happened that led up to that, the description happening, said, there's a heat wave in Monsteropolis. And, they need more, laughters to be on the laugh floor. So they call in all the people that's been taking Mike Wazowski's, laugh comedic school, right? And so Taylor, of course, says, okay, I'm going. Bye, miss. I'm going. I'm not going to waste my big chance here. Goodbye. And so, there's this problem with the doors. As a myth, Taylor can fix it, and he volunteers. Something happens where his horns get stuck on the things that grabs the doors, and he gets ultimately thrown into the door that has the Abominable Snowman. He calls himself the Adorable Snowman. He wakes up. Taylor wakes up upside down, and he hears this chainsaw, right? And he sees this rubber chicken that he had early in the episode before he was prepared to go in with. He was trying to go get the chicken, right? For some reason, that kind of gave me flashbacks to when all the times when I watched Star Wars Episode 5 or New Empire Strikes Back, where Luke was summoning, was stuck in the same way Taylor was, try to summon his lightsaber. For some reason, that scene popped in my head when this scene was happening. But in this scenario, the lightsaber being the rubber chicken, and Luke was Taylor. If you guys got that point without even me having to explain it, I love you guys. So, pretty much the Abominable Snowman gets the chainsaw, cuts Taylor off from upside down, and the Abominable Snowman was saying that I'm pretty much the Adorable Snowman, and I've been banished all this time, and the last time I had visitors was this blue hairy dude and the screen guy that's a single eye, referencing Sully and Mike. Which, yeah, that part, the scenario that I was saying earlier, pretty much making a callback to Monsters Inc. when Randall and Water News tried to banish Sully and Mike in Monsters Inc. And I love the point that the throwbacks they had to that part in Monsters Inc. So Taylor ultimately goes out the door, the world that the door has, right? But here's the catch: the adorable snowman goes through the door as well, which what the description of this video meant. Taylor mistakenly allows the banished adorable snowman to return to Monsters Inc. And there's like a few minutes where Taylor was trying to get the abominable snowman to go back into the door, which he's ultimately successful. But that one monster that has the tiny arms with the big legs, that in like the first few episodes said, "Oh yeah, this kind of reminds me when we were doing this or doing that to Taylor," and got on his nerves in like the third episode. She finds out the reason why he was banned. So after like Taylor puts him back, the adorable snowman back into his world, this monster finds Taylor, and she tells Taylor the reason why the adorable snowman was banished was because he found out that Waternoose was trying to power Monsteropolis with scream power, and Waternoose did not want that to that part to be exposed, right? And so what ultimately happened was Waternoose banished the adorable snowman. That was unjust. And after she tells him that, Taylor says, "Sorry, I have to go." And you can see he was sad. His door where he was going to do labs was going to power it on. He was going to go through the door. And then we see him saying, "I'm sorry. I have to be somewhere else." And then we get a cut to the adorable snowman's door going onto the last floor. And Mike says, "Oh no, Sully, this looks familiar." And out comes Taylor, the abominable snowman, and the character that's the big legs, tiny arms. And with the snow cones. And Taylor and the other monsters were saying, yeah, the adorable snowman, the abominable snowman, got banished because he saw what Mr. Waternoose was doing, and he didn't like that. All he was wanting was a friend. He did not like the whole the whole period was scariness, caring thing with Jig. That was the logo in the first Monsters Inc. movie. And so Mr. Waternoose banished him. So they pretty much explain all that. Which I know I explained it not too long ago, but pretty sure I didn't mention the whole friend part. So Sully said, "You know what? Since I'm CEO of Monster Incorporated now, I'm using my CEO powers to unbanish you. And not only to unbanish you, but also I'm going to make a job for you here, selling snow cones." And I really enjoyed this episode. I really do. And then of course Mike's class thing came in, and he was trying to teach the class, but there's this monster on this drum set that kept doing like every single time Mike was going to say something, and got on Mike's nerves. And then there's this glove that punched Mike away. And they cut to the credits, which was like a wintry twist to the Monsters Inc. theme song, which was good. I always enjoy listening to that part of the credits because that's always cool. I enjoyed this episode. This episode was great. I love the throwback that it had to Monsters Inc. This, like I said previously in my previous videos where I reviewed this show. This show is one of the few shows nowadays that has the aura of the universe that is taking place in, which in this case has the aura of Monsters Inc. Trying to be respectful of Monsters Inc. What Monsters Inc. and Monster University built up, it expands that in all the right ways. It's respectful to the source material, and it's funny as well. And I don't feel like many shows nowadays are like this. And I'm really happy that Monsters at Work is actually respectful to the Monsters Inc. lore. Which a lot of people, companies like Lucasfilms could, for example, could take notes from watching Monsters at Work and how to respect lore, not crapping on the fans, while creating new characters while we're still respecting the old. Guess this show does it perfectly. And if more movies and shows that took place in pre-16 franchises, like, for example, a sequel trilogy in Star Wars, less fans would be upset in the entertainment business. I did not expect myself to enjoy Monsters at Work as much as I did, and yet I do. And Monsters at Work is one of the best shows I have watched in the past 10 years. So, if you guys are a fan of Monsters at Work, if you guys are a big fan of Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, I highly suggest, especially Monsters Inc., even if you guys haven't seen Monsters University, if you're a huge fan of Monsters Inc., I highly suggest you guys watching this show. Because I strongly feel like if you guys like Monsters Inc. alone, pretending for a moment that Monsters University doesn't exist, you guys will enjoy this show a whole lot. And I do have enjoyed Monsters Inc. and Monsters University, but pretending Monsters Inc. is the only Monsters movie in this Monsters Inc. universe for a moment, if you enjoyed Monsters Inc., you will highly enjoy Monsters at Work. And especially this episode where it had a throwback to Monsters Inc. So, that's just me. That's my opinion. I really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed the series so far. I have nothing bad to say about this show. I really don't, and that surprises me, because I was ready to be extremely critical. Did not expect myself to come into this show loving it as much as I do right now. So, with that said, have you guys seen Monsters at Work episode 7, Adorable Returns? Do you guys like it, dislike it, or anything about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll catch you guys later. And love you all. Thank you for watching this video, and be kind to one another.